Are you coming to Bonaire to shore dive? Do you plan to dive Tolo? Would you like some tips, tricks, and information to make your experience easier and much more enjoyable?
Well, that's what we're talking about in this video.
And we're doing it right now. Hey guys, Liz and Kevin here with you on the northern end of Bonaire. We're at Tolo, one of the all-time favorite dive sites, at least for me, here on the Northern Coast Road. It is a marked site and you're gonna love it. Liz and I are gonna tell you everything you need to know to have a successful dive here. But first, if you're not familiar with us and our channel, Liz and I, we love to travel, especially to sunny tropical locations where we can scuba dive. We've got a particular passion for the island of Bonaire and the freedom the shore diving here allows. This is another in our series of videos on the different shore dive sites. In these videos, we tell you everything you need to know about the site. We'll tell you the best place to get in the water, the best place to get out of the water, a general overview of the out of water scenario of the dive site, some navigational tips, and some other fun information. If that sounds like something you're interested in, how about subscribing to our channel? Make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be made aware when we have additional content for you to enjoy. But right now it's all about Tolo, and let me tell you, this is a phenomenal dive site. You must come here to dive this site. It really is beautiful. It's probably midway up the northern road, so you really get to start to taste what these northern dive sites are about and how they're different from the southern dive sites. I like to think of it as Tim Burton and Dr. Seuss got together to form the reef here, because it's kind of spooky and weird looking. The star coral and the mountainous star coral formations are abundant here. You have some nice soft coral too, but it's also Dr. Seuss like in the marine life. You've got redfish, bluefish, greenfish, yellowfish. But I'll tell you, my favorite thing about Tolo is the shallower depths. The 20-foot range coming in towards shore. The star coral formation really is different here than any other site. You still have some soft coral intermixed, but it's just beautiful. The sand here is incredibly white, so great photo op. Bring your camera is a must do. This is also a great snorkel spot, so it's not uncommon to find snorkelers here. It's a short swim out, so there's a lot of stuff for you to see close to shore. I know Liz loved this site as well, so.
Yeah, I really loved this site. It is a bit of a tricky entry getting in. You do have to go down some steps, but it's definitely worth it. Love the shallows, but then right around 40 or 50 feet out in the reef is where there's just a ton of sea life. Like Kevin mentioned, it's very eerie, Tim Burton-y type, protruding coral, that kind of thing that's really interesting. It's very different from the south, which is, I would describe as prettier and nice, and this is more kind of an eerie, creepy feel, which I personally like better.
It's very masculine.
So it's a great site. Again, it's really good for snorkelers, and totally worth the burning in your quads when you climb back up those rocks.
But Liz is going to show you how to do that, and her quads are burning because she's already done it several times for this video. We're about to show you an overview of the site, and we're going to get to that right now. Okay, let's take a look at the general overview of the site here. You can see parking, there's plentiful. Got some other divers here. And take note of that. Don't let the presence of a lot of other vehicles at this site deter you from diving it. This is a very popular spot for snorkelers, as well as folks just hanging out at the beach. You can see down here, although it's rocky, this is somewhat of a beach for Bonaire, and it's not uncommon to have folks just hanging out here. So if you arrive and there are 5 other trucks, chances are, at most, it's probably just one set of divers. So don't worry about that. People like to hang out. It's a very picturesque spot. Great photo opportunities here. But one thing I want to point out is something that may keep some folks from diving this site, and it really shouldn't. You can see we're standing well above the shore here, so you've got to get down to the coast, and you do that by accessing with these primitive stairs. Now, they may look daunting, but I promise you they're not. Many a diver has come here and said, I can't climb down that, much less back up with my scuba gear, when I promise you, you can. It's not as difficult as it looks. Liz is going to demonstrate here for us in a little bit, but I promise you, you can do it, and it's well worth it. The entry is not tricky, but it is somewhat treacherous. This algae type substrate is very slick. You're gonna notice where Liz enters. We're gonna have her enter right here, kind of behind this big boulder. There is a step down, and there are a lot of rocks there once you step down into the water. Another good place to enter is up here to the right. You will see where it looks lighter in the water. However, you've got to walk further to get there, and this area really is slick. It's easy to slip, so use those walking sticks that we talked about. You'll be just fine. I promise you, you absolutely want to dive this site, but just be aware. It's very slick here, a lot of rocks once you get into the water, a lot of ankle twisting holes, so use that walking stick. As soon as you're able to put your fins on, put them on and start kicking out to the reef line. Descend, of course, take that compass heading first. Pick a good landmark so you can come back as close to this entry point so you can exit. Now you can see the rest of the shoreline looks exactly the same, and you can certainly get out further north. The issue is, once again, this area is incredibly slippery, and you don't want to have to walk from there all the way to here with all of your scuba gear on. Now let's talk about a good navigational marker once you're underwater that's going to help you get back here to your entry port. Fortunately, this is a very short swim. You can see that. You can see the dark blue water is not too far out there. But if you will keep this bench at due north, so 0 degrees, as you swim out, so stay square to this bench, swim out to the drop off. And once again, as you're looking back at the bench from the water, that'll be 0 degrees. Keep that there. Then once you descend in this general area, if you stay on point here, in about 39 feet of water, you're going to see some tube coral formations. You're going to see two that have fallen down next to each other. They've been there for years. Then to the right, just a little further away, is a 5 tube sponge formation. Then to the left, about the same distance, you'll see another tube sponge formation. And all of these put together, especially those two that have fallen over, make for a great landmark for turning back up into the shallows and to shore. So hope that helps. Use that tip, and that'll bring you right back home to here. Let's find Liz, and she'll show us how to enter here at Tolo. Okay, here comes Liz coming down. She's approaching the primitive stairs. She's going to turn around so she can walk down backwards. Looks daunting, but it really isn't. Just take your time, be careful, and things will be just fine. I think it's important to walk down backwards. If you're able to just take it like regular stairs, that's fine. You can also brace yourself on the side of the wall here that makes it nice and easy. But once you get here, this is where it actually gets treacherous. You've got these rocks that are going to shift under your feet, and then you get into the slick area. So just use that walking stick. I promise you'll be fine, but it is very slick. We're going to continue out. But once again, just keep your eyes on this slope. There are some ridge areas where your ankle could get twisted. Just take it easy like Liz is doing. Use that walking stick. You may have a little bit of surf, or you may not. You never know. Right now she's approaching that step down. It's not a big step at all. Just that, but it is there. And now she's getting into the areas where there are rocks that are also going to shift under her feet. But the good news is she's already waist deep, so you don't have to go far at all. You can put your fins on right there and then kick out. Liz is going to turn around and come on back in for us and show you how easy that is. You've got the rocks there shifting under the feet. Use the walking stick getting back in too. We got some cheap ones that are collapsing on us this trip, unfortunately. But here, you've got the step up. Get some good balance. See how that works? Super easy. She's going to come on out, but don't forget, after a dive, you're going to be tired. These are slick rocks, so be careful. Just retrace your steps. Liz is so happy she gets to walk back up those stairs again and then do it a second time when we actually dive. But once again, shift your rocks there, use that walking stick. You'll be glad you have it, I promise. But look, super easy to climb these. just like that. She's walking up. The last one's a little tougher because there's nothing to grab hold of. Just push up, use that stick to brace yourself, and you're good to go. It's as simple as that, folks. I promise you, you can do it. Dive Tolo. Folks, that's gonna do it for now. Liz is ready to dive, so I'm gonna gear up. We're gonna get in, and we'll see you at the next dive site.